Hello friend, thanks for joining me for another video blog in Bittersweet. It's the last video blog I make in this office. Vitali's studio, after 5+ years of being a holistic lifestyle coaching facility. We have almost 2,000 square feet here. It's closing the doors for a couple of reasons. Yes, there's some finances involved in this decision, but also a professional decision of growth, more growth in my business, more growth in my public speaking, my trainings that I do at companies. So I made the tough decision to let this go because, again, it's a big expense. And second, I don't need this big fancy office anymore. So I keep hearing from life, from the divine, that it's really time to simplify, to keep things simple. So I'm gonna be working from my guest room in my condo. So that's where you're gonna see me doing my next video. So there's a lot of work to do here, boxes, books going there today. And even though it's a very busy weekend packing the studio, I wanted to pause and connect with you and talk about something that I know I'm not the only one going through. I want to talk about navigating transitions, navigating changes. Let's face it, we all want to change, right? If we're all drinking wine together, having dinner together, let's suppose there's no COVID and we all having a good time in a restaurant, some of us will be talking about the need for a change in our career or change in our relationship, change the scenery by moving to a new city, a new country, like I did in my 20s. And at the same time, when we really pull the trigger and go through the transition, a lot of difficult times come. So I want to share a little bit of wisdom here, my own wisdom by how I navigated through these changes. Because closing the studio, closing the business after 5+ years, it's more than just closing a 5-year-old business. For me, it's also pretty much retiring from a career that I had for 25+ years, which is the career of personal trainer. For 25 years, I spent my days in an exercise room around dumbbells, around weights, cable machines, and training, educating people how to move their bodies, rehabilitate low back pains, rehabilitate shoulders. And yes, I'll be still work with a couple clients online, but that is done. I have people buy my equipment tomorrow. I'm gonna take some dumbbells at home so I can keep my fitness, because I'm not gonna be going to the gym right now. I just don't wanna work out in a mask. So let me share with you a little bit of this process, how it has been, and this might resonate with you, might resonate with a friend or somebody in your family. So share this video away. And also can benefit you if you consider going through some changes in the near future. And for us high achievers, we have this philosophy of just like push through it, just suck it up, have some mental toughness, and don't allow yourself to feel too much. Just get through the motions. And I don't encourage that philosophy, those beliefs at all. When you're going to change, even though it's a change that you want to go through, is going to bring some emotions. It's going to bring emotions related to loss. Because for me, for example, letting go of the studio, not seeing, my beautiful massage therapist is a friend every day. My therapist already left. And I love the in-person connection with people. So, and also living this career, 25+ years of career, brings grief. Again, either you want to go to the change or not, there's always a grief process. Like if you want to quit a job, let's say you've been in a company for 10 years and you hate your job and you want to quit. Even in that situation, you experience some grief because there's always a lot of good. The connections you made, the positive experiences you had. So if you're going through some transition now in the near future, maybe you have gone through this already last year, you need to go through the emotions. It's not time to tough it up and just do the thing, because sooner or later you will have to sit to the emotions of grief. to the emotions of loss, like sadness, of letting something go, emotions of anger, sometimes just anger that some things are not going according to your plan or didn't go according to your plan, so can be anger. Disappointments, right? I went through that. I went through disappointment, I went through anger, I went through sadness, I had depression. I don't have depression, I experienced some depression simply by some days I woke up in the morning and I couldn't wait until the evening came. I wanted to just skip the whole day because it was painful. And that's the thing about emotions, we want to just skip because it's not comfortable. Even for me, who teaches this philosophies, teach emotional intelligence, teach transformation, I teach healing, it's hard. And I'm glad I had a lot of free time so I didn't distract from my emotions. I navigated through them. I meditated more, I took extra baths, I just rested more, I took more walks, and I allowed myself to feel all those emotions. The advantage of that, yes, it is painful and you need to go through that because emotions are energy. If you're gonna suppress them and get busy with something else, guess what? Those emotions will get bigger and sooner or later you have to deal with them. So better to deal with them sooner than later when they're fresh, okay? So you go to the emotions, and then what happens in the other side is that because I dealt with this emotional period that lasted a good month for me, I feel totally renewed. So even though now officially I'm packing the studio and I'll give the key, at the end of next week, I'm good, I'm feeling good. So let me share the other part of transition. One thing that really helps to get us out of the emotional state without bypassing. We don't want an emotional bypass. We don't want a spiritual bypass. We want to go to those emotions. And you don't need to stay and ruminate those emotions for too long. You just allow their own process. And the beautiful thing about emotions, when you allow, when you accept and you surrender to the emotions, their natural process is to move away without you pushing. You don't need to do anything. You just need to allow yourself to feel. It's just like, okay, sadness, here I am. I'm gonna feel you. And you don't attach thoughts to it. And you don't start making stories. So what helps us to move away from that normal emotional period is to have a positive mindset. Of course, this is when positive mindset, a positive psychology really helps. For me, something that helped a lot, and I share in a blog, if you like to read, I will attach the link to the blog. For me, it was always the philosophy that life is always working for us, and life is always offering something great. Even in the midst of difficult, because we're emotional beings, so we feel the pain. So one mindset that really helped me to navigate through those emotions, and I feel much better now, is I believe that life is offering me great new potential opportunities that I know by locking the doors here at the studio, all the doors will open. And I know a lot of people say, oh, that's so, metaphysical or mumbo jumbo. It's not. It really is not. If you remember back in your own life, when you thought you were losing something and you were in pain, can you remember that something else came up in your life that was good for you? Maybe you were fired from your job and you got a job that you love way more. Maybe you left a relationship so you could find somebody that made you happier. Or you got sick and that caused you to pay more attention to your health, right? So these are not just metaphysical, positive psychology, BS. This is real. So when I wrote my blog this week was about how easy it is for us sometimes to think that life is taking away from us. Life is never taking anything away from us. Life is always offering us opportunities. And it's a great mindset to adopt. I encourage you to adopt that even through the most difficult times. And I'm not speaking so much about, if you lost a loving one from COVID or from our disease. That's not what this video is about. I'm not here to talk about or get over that, nothing, or apply positive psychology to that. That's a different topic. I'm talking more about the normal losses that a lot of us have gone through because of the pandemic, or just accelerated our process. I would have closed the studio anyway, either now or maybe at the end of the year, so I can't blame the pandemic for it. It was just, we'll be in a different financial situation if it wasn't the pandemic, for sure, because we took a big income hit. We dropped our income here in the studio overall, period. So for me now, it's all about looking at what's possible. I know by letting go this beautiful studio, a lot of energy is going to be removed from my life, and new fresh energy, new ideas will emerge. I don't even know. You will know because I'll be sharing the process with you. I'm not here just to share with you how happy I am. I like to share with you the pain. And I know there's always positivity on that, because I'm not just going to turn my camera and cry to you. I have before. Yes, I find the positivity even in my tears, even in my moments of depression, even in my moments of anxiety, because, by the way, they're all temporary. Emotions are temporary. And that's why it's so important to allow yourself to feel the emotions, because they pass. They pass just like a storm. They pass just like the clouds. And if you resist, they don't pass. If you try to hold, it's going to take a tremendous amount of energy to hold, because emotions are energy. And if you try to hold, they're going to become baggage in your body, and you're going to start accumulating other stressors, emotional stressors, until you break it, you explode, you have reactions, your health starts to suffer, you start to deplete your energy, you might start engaging in unhealthy habits. So, biggest message I want to share with you: if you're going through changes, allow yourself to feel. It will be a grief process of letting go. Anything that you let go is going to feel, because you're also moving from the familiar to the unfamiliar. So you will be dealing with fear, and I'll make another video just to discuss specifically about fear. You deal with fear for sure, and you will try to bargain and keep the same. I caught myself many times bargaining in my mind, can I keep the studio? Maybe I can keep it. And I will stop myself. I'm like, you bargaining, Alex, let it go. It's done, a new chapter. And we'll go to the process. So I have to say that it was a tough month. And that combined with some personal healing, spiritual growth, it was all together, right? So it was like this big transformation period for me, like in 4 or 5 weeks, between, healing from a lost relationship, letting go of the business, the pandemic chaos, the fear of like what's gonna happen next. So it was very emotional. And it's not comfortable, and it's very important to have friends so you can talk about it, and also have a therapist or have a coach. I have a couple clients going through really tough times right now. Personal one is doing amazing now. Another one is going through some tough challenge right now. So it's very important to share. Talk to somebody. And a lot of people think, I don't want to be complaining to my friends. There's a big difference between complaining and being authentic, talking from your heart, because it's something that you're going through. There's a big difference, okay? So I want to share that with you, and I want to thank you for being my companion through all these years with Vitaly Studio, and let's continue this journey together, and I will keep you posted on the new opportunities are coming. And one I created is the book club. So if you like reading, if you like learning, growing, join my book club. It's very low cost, it's donation based. If you want some information on that, so I don't bore you right now, if you want to learn, how to join my book club, we start our first book next week. It's going to be on March, reading with the Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. If you want to know details about how to join my book club, just send me a message and I'll send you a video with all the details. So thank you so much for all your love. For some of my clients that came to Vitaly that might be watching this video, I'm so grateful to you, and looking forward to the beautiful gifts and life offerings that are coming to all of us. Have a great day. Mwah.